All right. Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode 7. Moving along here, 2 games a week. Can really crush through some episodes. So we got 3 brand new players today and 1 returning player. So we're going to introduce our new players. Keegan, why don't you go ahead and introduce you as a person? Tell everyone what is important to you, and then a quick important thing about in a quick overview of your character. We'll do a physical description in the actual game.
Jolly grand. Hello, people of the world. I'm Keegan, and my personal loves are for hats and tea. Uh, I am going to be playing Ander Brightwood, who is a human warlock who is very devoted to the god he serves.
Cool. And Mel, same thing.
Hi, I'm Mel. They them pronouns. I'm just your typical small nerdy goth. And I'm gonna be playing Sage Vandercroft, who is an androgynous half elf rogue.
Colton.
Uh, yeah. So I said my name. Sorry, I'm spaced out here.
Yep, Colton. So do whatever is important to you or what you'd like them to know about Colton, and then sort of whatever you'd like them to know about your character. Physical description will come in a bit later.
So Colton, and as Jason already said, and I'm really boring. I mean, I'm just pretty dorky. I'm pretty glad to be playing D&D. And I'm gonna be playing Corman McLaughlin, and he is a horribly disfigured gnome artificer.
All right. Speaking of which, I'd like to just go above the table here for a minute. When we rolled for Colton's character, we rolled some real bad stats. I've never actually seen a 4 on a character sheet before on an attribute, but where that's just what happened. So everyone just knows that that's how existence is right now.
I am so sorry.
Sorry.
All right. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna start as we start most of these episodes in the dwarven city of Gathol. It is built upon a spiral with sort of everything on the outside of it, and the basin of the spiral is like a magnificent forge. You start near the top in a great meeting hall with a dwarf with a big black beard, and he wears very modest clothes. He's like a mayor of this town, less of a king. Sort of they've progressed away from a king in this place. His name is Keen, and him and Coil are discussing sort of what has happened. He talks a little bit about how we've been exploring the forest lands, which is sort of right in front of the entrance to the Gathol. How they've built a lumber mill. They're starting to build walls. He's sort of updating Coil on the sort of progress and how things are going. And then he says, "All right, well, for today we have some new adventurers. The first volunteer is Ander Brightwood, and he sort of waves you in, and now we'll give you a physical description of Ander Brightwood."
Sure. So Ander is a pretty weedy looking guy, all things considered. Very young, like probably in his early 20s, possibly even late teens. But he walks in wearing some probably secondhand leather armor that he has taken the time to have adorned with a circle of stars around it, specifically 7 if you count them. Uh, he is carrying what seems to be like a nice hardy staff made out of probably oak, if you had to guess. And on his shoulder is a small weasel. His eyes are this sort of hazel colored green, and his hair is like a nice chocolate brown.
Cool. And Sage, he waves Sage in. Can you give us a physical description as well?
Sure. So Sage is medium height, probably like 5'5", since they are half elf. Um, if you think of if you're familiar with the Sandman series, with Desire, that very androgynous looking, very short black hair, um, very thin as well, and he wears a cloak, with um, just kind of very like not flashy like looking clothes, something that's comfortable for them. Excuse me, I meant them. And they have very piercing green eyes.
And then he gives the three of you kind of like a look, like a knowing look, and then he says, and also our last volunteer, and he sort of waves in Corman. Go ahead and give us a physical description of Corman.
So Corman drags his right leg a little bit. It's not enough to slow him down, but it's very noticeable that he has a limp. His face is very bubbled and ripped, like raised scars, very similar to that of burns on his face. And they go down most of from his face down along to his chest and over into his upper right shoulder. Um, he has both of his shoulders cut out, like his sleeves cut out. Um, and so you can see a lot of his like the burns from him. What's left of his hair on the left side of his head is red hair. And down in his beard's also singed off on one side, that right side of his face. So the left side of his face, he's got part of a beard. Um, and his eye, that sort of like the skin sort of been stretched over his right eye, so he's sort of got this like skin grafting almost going on, well, almost like an eye patch over his right eye.
All right, and then the three of you walk in, and you're met with Coil. Give them a physical description of Coil.
So Coil is a Warforged, which, if you're unfamiliar, they're basically they have this kind of metal carapace, and underneath it is like flesh and sinew. So they're sort of a combination of organic and inorganic matter, and they were made by like artificers or other creators for a war that occurred a long time ago.
All right.
And yeah, that's about it. Our eyes are kind of like just these sort of glowing sockets. Yeah.
Cool. So Keen continues, and he says, "These are this will be your group for the today, or the next little while." He hands you each an amulet, and explains that when it is time to come home, this will bring you home when your time is up on the outside. Out of character, basically, once the game is just about done, it's an explanation why everyone always starts here for the next game. So he looks at Coil and he says, "We have a few things that are new and a few things that we'd like to look into. I think for today, trying to reach the Wizard's Tower may not be possible. I think that might be a little bit more dangerous, and I think these three need a little bit of seasons under their belt before we attempt such a climb. We have spotted, and I'm gonna change the view over to our overmap here. This is it's a living map that I have made, and just to kind of give you some stuff. So what you see here is over in this direction. There's like this sort of great forest, and then here there's like a great plains land with like just an endless bottomless hole, just sort of cut as though it was dug all the way in. And then this is where you are up in this mountains, and this little circle is Gathol. Here is the lumber mill that Gathol has sort of built. And then this is like an island or coastal, like an archipelago of some kind. Far in the distance, about 3 days walk, maybe a little bit less, but there's a pretty dense forest, so it takes a little longer than just like as the crow would fly. Is like a tower that no one has been to yet. Is like it looks like a mage's tower. Keen says, we've spotted some kobold chattering in this area, just inside the forest. Not too far, but they're starting to make noise, and especially since we'll be building the wall soon to expand Gathol, as we've made that decision a couple days ago with the small council. We would like to make sure that everything is safe there. Continuing to follow the path of the cultists that you found, either to where they were going or where they're from, would be I think that there's some threads there that we can investigate. Lastly, I know that this isn't the most glamorous job for a group of adventurers, but we have heard some goats in the mountains, and they could really be useful for our building projects and things like that. The animals that we had didn't make it through the 200 years, so starting to recuperate and retame animals would be a great boon to Gathol. I think that's it. I think Coil can fill you in on any questions you may have, unless you have anything quickly for me before we go.
Where are the goats?
The goats are just like up in the mountains. You'll have to go this way to go find them.
Is there any word on the pilgrims that we returned? The prisoners, the cultist prisoners?
They will still need some time. The cultists did a number on them, and it seemed part of their process was slowly petrifying them with that cursed dagger, and they still need some more time, is what the clerics have said.
Okay.
All right, so we will. He'll leave you, and you guys can ask questions or whatever you'd like.
Well, does anyone have any preferences as to what we go out and do? I feel like
I'm happy to leave it to everyone else's judgment.
Very well. For me, I feel as though perhaps trying to clear the kobolds out. The forest, from my experience, seems to be infested with the little creatures, and they're certainly a threat to not only Gathol but our construction projects, the lumber mill and the wall. So it might be good to kind of do a quick once-over patrol through the woods, see if we find anything.
If you think that's what we should do, then that's what we should do.
All right. So the way that we work, so as you guys leave, the way that we work potions in this game is kind of like a video game, basically. So over the course of time, people find these what are called crystallized magic, and they can use it to sort of improve the town. And on one of the previous episodes, someone used it to create an alchemist. The party is allowed to carry 2 potions and 1 healer's kit. Josh, do you have any of the potions left? Okay.
I've never bought any.
Okay, cool. So I think we did Sage's gold. Ander, could you roll 4d4 for me?
Certainly can, if you're willing to give me a moment. Here we go. Just 44?
Yep.
Alright.
All right, so you're gonna have 100 gold,
Jolly grand.
and then the artificer. Give me 1 second to see what their starting gold is.
Sure. Can you actually give me 5 minutes to go down and take care of something?
Yep, go ahead.
Sorry about that.
5d4 times 10.
All right, yeah.
If
So
I-
go ahead and do that. Give me that roll. Cool. All right, so you have 120 gold. The potions cost 50 gold each, and they're 2d4 plus 2. And the healer's kit costs 5 gold, and it has 10 charges.
Is this where we buy?
If you would like to, that's sort of like the only like real supernatural or magic stuff that you can get right now, just because that's where we've put all the points into. If you want to buy other mundane stuff, better armor, whatever, you can spend your gold. But yeah, basically we're buying before y'all are leaving.
Fair.
All right. Did Sage or Corman want to buy anything?
Corman will buy 1 potion.
Okay.
And I was planning on him having enough material components, like random, like scrap and metal and like junk,
Yep.
which would probably come out to about 20 gold pieces worth of like scrap junk.
Okay, cool. Sage, did you want to buy anything or get anything before we left? Oh, I'm sorry. Did you say something, Sage?
No.
Okay, cool. All right. Josh, did you want to get anything?
Nope.
Okay. We will continue on, and Ander will be able to buy stuff when they get back. All right. So you all wanted to go to the to go check out the kobolds. So you all walk. No, they're back. So did you want to buy anything, Ander, potion wise or otherwise?
One healing potion might not be the worst thing in the world.
Corman did end up buying one.
No. Thanks, sir. Sorry about that.
Oh, good. Corman did end up buying one, so there is one total.
I did all right on the 44. I'll grab one more just to be on the safe side.
All right. Sounds good. All right.
I believe that's 50 gold, yeah?
It is. Yeah.
That's fine.
So, you all walk out. It's about 3 hours travel till you get to the edge of the forest. Then once you're in the forest, it gets dark. The canopy on this forest is so dark that it's hard to kind of see and move around underneath it. So unless you have dark vision, which I think Ander and Coil do not, you'll have to like make light or something to see. Like you can move around, but fighting will be hard. So you'll basically be at disadvantage on attack rolls and stuff.
Yeah,
That's
Coral says accessing incandescence emitter, and out of his he kind of puts his hands on his torso and he pulls out this light, and it lights up a 20-foot radius. Well, 20-foot radius brightly, and another 20 feet beyond that is dimly lit.
Cool. So we have light.
And he puts it on his shield.
All right. So I'm going to need you all to make either a survival check or a nature check. One of those two.
Hold on.
Yep. So you should be able to just open up your character sheet and then click on the actual word.
Yeah, I know. I can't find my name. Hold on. Oh, there we go. Okay. Sorry. Character sheets. Where am I looking?
It's on the left with the skills with all the checkboxes.
Okay.
And then you can either roll survival or nature, whichever one you'd like. Perfect. All right. So between Coil and Sage, you're able to sort of navigate around and come up on like a small like bit of ground. You notice before you sort of start to step in here, the ground here is much wetter than other places. Like it's just like you kind of, you hear the sloshing and stuff before you even sort of step in. And I'm going to move you guys over. So let me get your characters. All right. So we are going to say you all are up here and have not been seen yet. The nature rolls and stuff you've made cover. You noticed them before anything has happened. So for characters, this one, Ander, this one here is you. You should be able to move it around. This one is Corman, and this one is Sage. Cool. All right. So now everyone give me a perception check. Corman, you have advantage on this perception check.
Do I?
You sure do.
Perception, here we go.
Corman, that green thing means you actually rolled a natural 20, but your stats have brought it below. Basically, a green means you rolled the highest number on the die. All right, so everyone except for Coil notice these two kobolds seem to be carrying some extra gear than the other kobolds. The other kobolds are sort of smaller and they carry a sling and a dagger, but these two carry some extra stuff. One of them has like a flask with like a weird looking green liquid in it, and the other one, this one up here, has that flask, and this one down here seems to have like a long stick, like a pike, but at the end of it, instead of it being sharp, it just has like a scorpion, like sort of tied to the end of it. And the scorpion is still alive. So it's not a beautiful weapon, but it is a weapon nonetheless. So this is what you see. They're just kind of roaming around. What would you like to do?
Could I possibly try? So you mentioned one of them was carrying like this vial or flask full of this greenish fluid. What? Well, let me ask this first. Could I make a roll to possibly identify what that is?
Yeah, you could if you have proficiency in alchemist tools, I'll give you advantage.
No.
If not, it would be a nature check.
Give it the old college try.
It you can't really make out what it is from here, without kind of getting a good like test of it, of its viscosity and stuff. But definitely doesn't look like something you want on your person. You know what I mean? Like it doesn't, you know.
That's fair.
Cool. Anyone else want to do anything?
So you said they're holding like these scorpion weapons?
This one here is. This one is the only one with that kind of weapon. The other ones just have like slings and daggers.
In the past, when we have fought them, the strategy that has seemed to work best is to kill the smaller, weaker ones first. And Coil will point out a couple of like the smaller ones.
So I think that's a bit, just because they're small doesn't mean that they're I'm just saying. Alright.
They are the weakest one. I've assessed their threat levels.
If you have faced creatures such as these before, I'm willing to follow your judgment in this particular instance.
Agreed.
They are kobolds. I have killed at least 2 of them.
Truthfully, that's more than I have.
I was with some very strong companions before. I could have killed more, but they killed them before I had a chance. You see, I mean, I could have killed more. It just, you know how it is.
I, of course, trust your prowess, my friend.
Happens to the best of us.
And with that, I guess Coil will. Should we roll initiative?
All right, yeah, we'll roll initiative. All right, cool.
We'll
So here's how you roll initiative. You want to click on your character first. So like make sure your character is active, and then go to your character sheet and click initiative.
Which one's mine again?
Yours is the like one with the 2 daggers and the cloak. This one.
This one? I don't know how to do this.
So you just click on your character, and then on your character sheet there is an initiative button. It will be, if you want me.
There
I
should
don't know
only
how to
be.
click on my character.
Make sure your arrow is selected in the left top corner.
Yeah. So you click on the arrow at the top left, and then you click on select move.
Select move. Okay. It's not working.
Okay.
I don't think that was right.
I'll do it. Oh, good.
What are we doing?
Sorry, I'm having a little trouble selecting my character.
Yeah. So you want to click on the
So,
top
like,
left-hand corner. There's like a little like mouse looking thing.
Yeah. There, select move. Yep.
And then select move, and then click on your character. And then
Are you sure the tokens are set up in their character sheets? Jeff?
they should be. I'll double check here 1 second.
Hold on.
It says edit token with name and health bars and things.
But it sounds like you should just have to left.
Oh,
click.
nope, never mind. I did not. Sorry. That's on me. All right, now you should be able to select it.
Oh yeah, now we're cooking with gas.
All right. Mel, can you just type in chat just /r space D20?
Mine's still not really doing anything when I click on it, but
Let me make
So
sure it
I
also has the
do-
thing.
There we go.
I can just do a slash roll.
Yeah, just do a slash roll.
So I take it those big things are mushrooms.
Yeah, they're all bunch of mushrooms. Yep.
Okay.
All right, cool. So everyone should have their turn order and all that stuff on their up on their grid there. All right. So what we're gonna do is if you would like to like have a surprise round on them, you're far enough away so that you'll need to make a stealth roll if you want to have a surprise round. So if you want to move up and make an attack on this round, you'll have to make a stealth roll. If not, then they'll just enter into initiative. Okay. All right. So
So go ahead.
If we're making a ranged attack, do we have to do that?
no, it's only if you want to move up.
Oh, okay.
Round with ranged.
So you're gonna attack with ranged.
I was just saying. I was just asking for clarity. Yeah.
Yeah, ranged is fine. Yeah, you won't need to make a stealth roll for that.
Would I be messing it up for everybody else if they wanted to make a?
So who is anyone gonna approach, like and try to melee?
I'll do a stealth roll.
Okay, so why don't you go and make your stealth roll now? Ooh, not good. All right, cool. So what will happen is Sage will get about this far to try and melee this kobold, and then or melee a kobold. Which one were you going for, Sage?
What are the choices again?
Any of these, you could just go in any direction.
Field is your oyster.
Hold on, I gotta close this out because I can't see. To the left.
This one?
Yeah.
Cool. So you get about this far before you stumble. Everyone notices that Sage is there. Like this kobold alerts them. So now everyone's gonna go. So the three people that do range attacks will get a surprise round, and then we're gonna do a regular initiative. So Corman, you're first.
All right. So we will. I'm gonna attack the. Let's see here. How do we do the little blip?
So you just push it. You just click and hold.
So attack that kobold there.
Okay.
With a firebolt.
All right. So 16 is a hit. So roll some damage. 6 damage. Which one was it again? Can you ping him again?
This one.
This one here. All right. Cool. Yeah, he gets hit. He falls to the ground. You like sit him down, and then he just sort of slowly gets up like a boxer on like a 9 count. Like he's like just. All right.
Wow.
Yep.
Tough kobold.
And now Coil, your turn.
The one I just drew in. This one, I guess.
Okay.
The one I just drew an arrow to. Launching flash canister.
He makes a save. So this like canister comes out and like there's like a flash and he just dives out of the way. Right. And then Corman, your turn. Or I'm sorry, Ander, your turn.
You're fine. I think we're gonna hit or try to hit that same boy. Andrew is just gonna say like a quick prayer, and he's gonna try and hit this boy with Sacred Flame. So he has to make a dex save.
He made it.
All right.
Okay. All right.
Jolly good.
Sage, your turn.
Can I use my rapier? Actually, can I do a sneak attack?
So you can't do a sneak attack because you failed to hide basically. So
Okay.
you can definitely use your rapier on whichever one. You can just move your character to them and just try to stab them.
All right, so I need to move my character.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, hold on. Select. I am this one. Okay. Can I do that one? Why am I not moving? Hold on.
Let me make sure. You should have.
It's like letting me move it, but it's not letting me like.
Okay.
Let it stay.
All right. This one here. Is this where you want to move?
I don't see where you're pointing.
I moved your character. It should have moved.
Nope. I don't see it moved. Hold on, let me try this. Okay, yep, now I see. I just had to shrink it a little bit. Yes. Alright. Rapier. Sorry, I was zoomed in on the map too much.
Mm-hmm. All right, yeah, that hits. So rolled for damage by clicking the rapier button.
Yep. Hold on. Isn't this?
There you go. All right, yeah. So you just run up. He notices you, and you just kill him, and you just stab right through his head, and he just goes down. All right. So now the kobolds are all going to go. All right. So this kobold is going to run up and attack you with its dagger coil.
Okay.
It just clings off of your armor, but it gives an opening to this one, 2, 3, 4, to move up and attack you with its. It has like a big long spear with a scorpion attached to the end of it, and it hits, and you're gonna take. 7 damage and make a Constitution saving throw.
All right. So I do have. Oh, that's the wrong ability.
Oh, you're immune to poison, aren't you?
No, I have advantage on those
Okay, yep,
saving
so have
throws.
advantage. Yep. Yep, you make it.
Thank God.
So the scorpion tries to sting you, but it only finds metal.
And I will do my arming defensive matrix.
All right, so
Bad roll.
electricity comes off of you and just travels through the staff and right onto him. It's like a staff made of junk, I guess we'll say. It's just like a metal staff instead of a wooden one. And it takes some damage. It does not die though. All right, cool. This one here moves up and tries to attack you. Coil misses. This one hides behind this mushroom and attacks Sage and misses. All right, so these 3 kobolds here, Sage, are all just slinging rocks at you, but you're just like dodging and weaving out of their way. Like they can't find you. This one here, 2, 3, 5 moves behind this kobold to get cover. Like so, this kobold here is getting cover behind the mushroom, and this kobold is using this other kobold as cover. So you'll kill that one first, and then it's also going to attack you with its sling, Sage. Does a 15 hit you? Yeah. I think a 15 hits. For 4 points of damage. All right, so that is their turn. So, back to the top of the order, Corman.
All right. So we're going to firebolt that one.
Okay.
any negatives because I'm shooting into combat? Sorry, it's been a while since I've played 5e.
Nope. No negatives to shooting into combat.
All right.
That's a miss.
All right. So I still have a move, and so you're still on the grid there. I'm not zoomed in, but be it.
Okay. Coil, your turn.
I say activating auditory deterrence, accessing channel the maker, maximum power.
Channel the maker. All right. You can use.
And it automatically does max damage, and it's a 15-foot cube. So, I'm just gonna hit the 2 in front of me.
So it does. They don't have a save.
Although, what's the? They would have a save, but I think it's save half.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
1 second. I'll pull up the spell.
That's right. It's right there in the chat.
Well, that's maximum power. What the?
What's the spell actually called?
Thunderwave, I believe.
I was gonna say.
Yeah, he's renamed all of them to be robotic.
I love it. It's super good.
Yeah. All right. Okay, so it's 2d8. So you've rolled 8. All right, cool. So this one flies.
Well, no, my roll doesn't matter because I'm using maximum power, so it's a max roll. 16 damage.
Oh, I see. All right, so this one just evaporates. Just this concussive force just obliterates this kobold here. This one takes half damage, and he is not looking good. His like you can just see blood coming out of his ears, and he's just like very woozy. All right, cool.
One up for you.
So Sage, it's your move now.
I think that pushes them back 10 feet.
It's on a failed save.
On a failed
this
save,
one passed.
yeah, okay.
He would be way dead if he had not passed.
Am I up?
Yep, you're up.
All right. I'm gonna use my short sword on the one in front of me.
The one that is attacking Coil.
Yes.
Okay. Oh yeah. So you crit, and you're doing sneak attack damage. If you wanna roll just to see how much damage you do, you can, but it's gonna be gross. Okay, and then you roll another d6 on top of that. Yeah, he only had 1 life left, so you just run up and just like he's like stunned, and like he's like hearing all this ringing in his ears, and you just lop his head right off. You just take that opportunity. All right, awesome.
No kill like overkill.
All right. Now it is going to be all their turns. So you all notice these 2 kobolds over here next to this mushroom. This the mushroom just produces a bunch of spores. Like it just shoots them up into the air. And then one of them gets really sick and confused, and he just is terrified and runs away. So he just starts to run. This one gets out of the spores, but still wants to attack you. He's going to attack Sage. That's a hit. You're going to take 1 damage, Sage, as a rock just hits you right in the chest. These 2 are going to go after... Oh, sorry. This one here is going to come and attack Coil. and miss. All right, so this one attacks Corman with a sling and hits for 1 damage. And then he just walked off. The other one throws the vial of acid at him. And oh, that's way more damage. 7. All right, so we're going to take a break right here. It seems like some people are having some technical difficulties, and we will be right back.